Welcome back to the Bad Influence Podcast with me, your host, yours truly, Jordan Banderas. Don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe button so you never miss out on our deep dives into real shit. Today, we're diving headfirst into a fiery pit. I'm talking about the importance of questioning the fucking experts. After a little interaction that I had not too long ago, I was like, you know what? We need to start questioning the so-called experts. So get ready. This one's going to flip your perspective and ignite a fire under your ass to start trusting your own God more. Because that's what you have to do in order for you to be able to live the life that you want and do what's good for you. So here's what happened. I've been working out and watching what I'm eating, trying to be healthier, and I finally got under 180 pounds. I used to be close to 190, sometimes a little bit above that for a really long time. And I had to do this because, for one, I wanted to look good for my wife and I wanted to look good for myself, but I'm also pre-diabetic and have a fatty liver. Not just a fatty liver. I'm talking about non-alcoholic fatty liver. So I was like, fuck this. I'm not going to die because I'm a fat ass, right? I was like, I don't even drink and I have fatty liver. What the fuck? I still can manage it and, get from that point down, but I still have a lot of things to do. So I was telling my friend at work about my accomplishment because I felt good, and it took me almost 2 months to lose the weight. My metabolism was flatlined, so I had to restart my own metabolism, and I was telling my friend about how I was doing intermittent fasting when all of a sudden this other guy that no one fucking likes chimes in. You know, that kind of person that nobody likes because anytime they decide to say something, they come off as assholes. Or they're trying to tell you what you should be doing because they're an expert, right? Well, this motherfucker goes, you have an eating disorder. I was like, what? So he repeated himself. Because of that, I just asked, what makes you think that I have an eating disorder? And I can't believe I had this interaction, to be honest with you, because this fool's answer was, well, I'm an expert because I have a degree in nutritional psychology. Now, I have to mention this so you understand the background of this story, because our work, our job that we do is not related to that degree at all. We work in a completely different field. We do something completely different. That degree is worthless with what we're doing. Doesn't bring anything to the table. So I asked him, I got curious, and I asked him, when did you get your degree? He was all like, 15 years ago. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be interesting. So my next question was, how come you don't work in your field? And this is why you absolutely have to question the so-called experts, because his answer was the perfect opportunity to shut this motherfucker up. He said, I can't use my degree because I got an eating disorder from it. When he said that, I was like, So, you're giving me a biased opinion based on your own issues. Because if I'm doing intermittent fasting the right way for me, then you shouldn't say that I have an eating disorder since you don't know how I'm doing it. Right? That sounds fair. And besides, the information has changed on this for the last, 15 years. Since the last time that you actually went to school, everything has changed. There's more information on food. There's more information on our microbiome and all of this, right? So you don't know what you're talking about. This dude got mad. He's like, well, I'm just telling you, I have a degree. Blah, 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 blah. He got mad, he got upset, and he just walked away. Now, this guy reminded me of the Dunning-Kruger effect, which states that the more incompetent you are, the less you're aware of your incompetence. And I think we all have seen people act like that nowadays. They call themselves experts, dating experts, business experts. All of these experts all of a sudden started to pop up. But yet, some of them are good and some of them are full of shit. And when you question them, they get mad. So this experience made me realize that not all experts or people with degrees should be looked at like gods. Even though some of them might feel like they're a god, some of them, or pretty much all of them, are just mortals with fancy titles. Let's be honest. Like in this case, and one of the things that I have had to do since my wife became ill is that I have had to call out my wife's doctors too, because they think they're right. They think they're always right. There's been so many fucking times when they tell us, oh, there's nothing that we can do. There's no treatment. There's nothing for your wife that we can do. And because I do my own fucking research, I'm like, no. This is a new medicine that came out 2-3 months ago, or this treatment came out like 6 months ago. How come you don't know about this? It's an honest question. They get all mad. It's like, well, I'm going to have to research it. I'm like, this is the thing that you have to research all the time if you're going to take care of your patients. I understand that you don't have the time, but you're still a doctor, so you have to stay informed of what's going on. And I'm even more surprised, and I told this to a doctor, I'm surprised that you don't know about this new medication. I would be surprised in the situation that the sales rep from the manufacturers, the pharmaceuticals, are not at your doorstep trying to tell you to use this medication. I honestly have been surprised that sometimes that happens. I'm like, what? Okay, so because of this interaction, that's why I wanted to talk about this, but I want to ask you this. Have you ever felt like something an expert said was a load of crap? You know that nagging doubt? That's your bullshit detector going off. And it's damn right to question it. But a lot of you feel like doing that is disrespectful because they went to school and you didn't. And some of them, they didn't even go to school. They just think they know everything, or they just have a little bit of knowledge. So it's not disrespectful to question them, especially if you have to pay them. But because of all my interactions with all these so-called experts, because of my wife and coaching experts, dating experts, and all of these experts, here's what I have learned. And this is something that you have to understand, and this is why you have to question everything you hear from a so-called expert. Because expertise is often a narrow lane. It's not this big lane where you have all this information. No, sometimes it's so narrow that these people might know a ton about a little. But outside their tight-knit circle, not so much. They don't know anything about what's going on outside their circle. Like in my wife's case with her doctors, that they didn't know about certain treatments, certain medications, which in my opinion, it drives me fucking crazy. Now, their advice might not fit your real world chaos in some situations, and that's why you have to question it. If your doctor or somebody tells you, oh, you have to do this, and you think about it, and you're like, that's not going to do anything for me, then question it and say, like, you know what? That's not going to work for me because of this reason. I have this problem. That will work for me if I have something completely different going on. So you have to understand that plugging the holes between theory and practice is your job, not theirs. And right now, everybody wants to be given an answer that's going to fix all of their problems. But if you keep getting all these answers from coaches or so-called experts and you don't question it, they're just going to think they're right. And they won't care as long as they think they're right. Kind of like with doctors. You know, if a dating expert, let's just put it that way. If a dating expert says, oh, you have to say this to a girl and you can actually get her in bed, and that works for him, but that doesn't work for you, they're going to be like, well, it's your problem. I know I'm right. It works for me. But then you have other problems going on that person might not understand. So in my opinion, that's a bias. And that's the next thing that I want to talk about, because everyone has a fucking bias. Even these so-called objective experts, they have biases that go from personal vendettas, which it has happened. It happens a lot in academia with academics. They have this personal vendetta where they're like, oh, that motherfucker can be smarter than me, so I'm gonna put him down. And they also get fat paychecks that shape their neutral advice. There are so many dirty influences you rarely hear about. So don't swallow their data without questioning who's feeding their bank account, because echo chambers are academia's favorite playgrounds. Once an idea starts bouncing around those walls, it turns into the ultimate truth. But that's bullshit. That's actually fucking bullshit. This is your cue to jump in and stir the pot and ask why, disagree, innovate, because sometimes the real breakthroughs happen outside these stifling chambers. Sometimes a good breakthrough will happen when you start questioning it. When you start saying, hey, that doesn't work for me, or that doesn't work for this situation, let's go ahead and rethink the solution. Because remember that change is the only constant. This is what I hate about some experts. They don't understand that change is the only constant. And what was textbook truth yesterday might be today's laughable theory. And it happens all the time. Like, for example, Einstein theories. Some of his theories, when he was alive, they were seen as crazy, that would have never happened. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh shit, we discovered this. Einstein might have been right. So you have to stay updated, since it's crucial, because even the sharpest minds can fall behind. That's one of the reasons why I read books. That's one of the reasons that I like to read things that challenge my thinking. And in order for you to get the correct information, you have to learn how to sharpen your critical thinking skills, because you have to go from recognizing biases to challenging the status quo in order for you to get the information that will actually help you. It's about making you a smarter consumer of information, not a fucking sponge that just absorbs and doesn't really catch anything good for yourself. You can't be a sponge. A sponge is not going to help you. Being a sponge is not going to help you. So remember that questioning the experts isn't about tossing out all their insights. It's not saying, oh, you're wrong and I'm right. No, that's not what it is. It's about engagement. It's about having a polite dance, not a fist fight, not getting in arguments, saying like, oh, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong. No, it's about like, hey, let's find the truth. Because you can always say, that doesn't sound right to me. Can you clarify? Or what are your sources, so I can actually read the same information and understand you a little bit better. Because if something doesn't sound right, you have to trust your instincts. Because in a world that's fast becoming a rant and expert, being your own guide is your best bet for navigating the bullshit. And right now, there's so much fucking bullshit out there. I see it all day on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. All of the sudden, everybody's an expert. All of the sudden, everybody's telling you what medications work for you, and they don't even have a degree, a medical degree and shit like that. All of the sudden, everybody's telling you on TikTok how much vitamin K and vitamin D is supposed to help you feel better, and how much you're supposed to take. But it's like, you know about overdosing on those vitamins and why it does? Well, I had to research it because my vitamin D was low, so I didn't want to overdo it. So that's why you have to question everything. You have to keep your eyes peeled, your minds open, and your questions ready. Because in this world today, with everything that's going on, with all the misinformation, with all the access that we have to information, good and bad, doubt is your weapon. And you have to wield it and use it like a pro, like you know what you're doing. You have to question things that may not make sense to you. You have to question things that you may think you understand, but in the long run, you may not even understand them. So this is good for you, not detrimental. Detrimental will be not questioning anything you hear, just following the advice, and then nothing changing. Because you follow the wrong advice, or even getting sick in the situation, like on the TikTok videos that are telling you, oh, take this supplement or wherever. And they don't even know what's in the fucking supplement. Like, honestly, I would never buy a supplement from TikTok. And I'm not saying that it's bad for you, but if you don't go to a doctor that will tell you, hey, your vitamin D or your vitamin K is low, then you're trusting someone that just wants to make a buck out of you, that just wants to get that commission out of you. And that's not fair for you, because in the long term, if you overtake whatever they're selling you or you follow the wrong advice, you're the one that's going to suffer, not them. So question everything. Like I said, use doubt as your weapon. Use it. Don't fucking let anybody tell you oh, doubt is bad. No, doubt is good if you use it correctly. It's one of those weapons that you have to sharpen, that you have to know how to wield it, so you can become the warrior for your mind. And that's it for today. Thank you again for everything. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Keep an open mind and engage in respectful discussions in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button to stay tuned for more content. And do you have a story, a question, or just need to vent? You know where to find me. Share your journey and let's navigate this wild ride together. Until next time, stay connected, stay badass, and remember, the world needs your unique brand of badassery. And here are my final thoughts. Question everything. Even if it's just to clarify a word, even if it's just to clarify a context, just question it. Because you have to make sure that you understand it, whatever they're telling you, whatever they're selling you, so you can make the right decision, an informed decision. And have a great day.